Hello, everyone, my fellow enthusiasts of living outside, and welcome to the grand Bandy's Universe podcast. And with me today is, me, Rich Ikoy.
You know, I think that Captain Falcon is a really undervalued Smash character. People just aren't playing him right.
They're not. I think you're onto something there.
This is real dialogue from
that's real. That's like the first fucking lines of the show or something almost after the lower filled intro, you know.
Yeah.
So for those who are unaware, Bandy's Universe, this is a show by YouTuber Nathaniel Bandy. He made this independent show about...
What is his deal? What does he do otherwise?
This is the weird thing, right? Is he's not... you don't hear him talk normally and think, oh, this is a crazy person who would make...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you don't like assume
I assume you hear him talk in his YouTube videos.
No, yeah, you hear him talk. He talks a lot.
You don't hear him make the content he makes and then be like, oh yeah, he's totally gonna make one of these like live action. He's
pretty.
Things.
He's fairly like down to earth and normal as far as like Nintendo YouTube people. And I mean, most of the big, Scott the Woz, of course, famously shows up at the end of this. He's like a normal guy kind of, but his personality is more like bombastic and crazy in the videos at least. But Nathaniel Bandy is very like, I don't watch a ton of his stuff because a lot of it's like this like X about Mario triggers you. He ran that series for 8 years since the trigger meme started. He ran that into the ground. But
oh man.
Yeah, but he did. It's like he did a video.
So wait, is it YouTube slop stuff where it's just like it's Mario with a big triggered thing over it?
That's one of them. Is
Mario's giving you the middle finger or something? It's
like how Mario Kart World triggers you, or how Super Mario 3D World triggers you. You know, it's like
Sonic fans triggered by epic Mario rant.
It's not even that. It's like it's just triggered is just in the title, and then he's like, oh well, here are things that are annoying about this game or whatever. It's more like that.
Okay.
So okay. You know, and it's just because that was like a big format, I guess, and kept making views for that long. But he does variety.
To some extent, you're a slave to what YouTube says is the thing you should be basing all your stuff.
He does a whole variety of Nintendo-based content, though. You know, like there's I'll just pull up random stuff. Right, like he did predicting Switch 2 with the odd ones out and Scott the Woz, where it's, you know, like just he does these sort of discussion videos, but he also does like edited stuff. He does tier lists of like, oh, I played every Zelda game and look at me, I'm gonna rank them in tier list right now and talk about each one for 10 minutes, you know, stuff like that. He watched every SpongeBob and did a 7-hour video on that.
Every SpongeBob episode?
Yeah, every single one.
Shit.
Yeah, he's got like a whole team of he's got a ton of editors and stuff like that, you know, so
dang.
He's a whole variety of Nintendo based content, and he's been doing it for a very long time. He really popped off and grew a whole bunch in the last like 8 to 10 years. Like all of his highest viewed videos are from like 6 years ago. But he started his first Nintendo video, I think, I'm looking here, I think it would have been like 14 years ago or something, but he's got videos going back 18 years on his channel, so yeah. He's a very classic and very normal kind of Nintendo YouTuber, but he decided he wanted to do this Bandy's Universe, which is a full story.
Watching this, and it's not a mark of the quality, it's not a mark of the like how it's filmed or anything like that. Just starting to watch it, I thought this was from 15 to 20 years ago. Yeah. Just because I feel like this style of YouTube video was popular in the early 2000s, I'd say, or late 2000s, and this feels like more of a throwback kind of thing than stuff that is very popular today. Is that true? Or do people still make these things all the time?
Scott the Woz does stuff like this where it's like skits and stuff, but he's not like oh, I'm gonna meet Super Mario and he's gonna be a weird CG cartoon, you know, like he just does like, oh, my friends are over and they're gonna play wacky characters kind of thing, you know, for like a minute.
Okay.
But and his stuff, I think, is him and his friends are pretty fun to watch, honestly. I think those are pretty good. But generally this sort of skit style, I know Nostalgia Critic still does them for all his stuff. And
it is definitely the Nostalgia Critic era of This
feels most like Kick-Ass, like more than any other type of thing, I think, like, because it's closer to Nostalgia Critic in its like tone than it is to like Angry Video Game Nerd, who is also like this is also very similar to that, I think, though, too. So
I see.
Yeah, you know, but it's just, this came out, you know, like 2 years ago. I think all the episodes came out 2022, I believe. And yeah,
is there several seasons? Because this is the entire first season, right?
No, yeah, there's only the one season. He recently did a video. He did a members only video about why there won't be season 2. And I actually paid for
his... to pay all of the animators here, and
it is financial, yes, which is hilarious. I got it written down. He says he estimates that it would cost $150,000 to $200,000 if he were to do like a Kickstarter for it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you want to go bigger than the first one, so that would mean like there'd be like 10 different segments, and it would probably be like so much more expensive to hire these same people. Yeah.
But well, he says for this one, for season 1, he hired he said 9 to 10 animators, some full-time, most of them part-time, 3 musicians, 2 background artists, people to do keying, editing, and miscellaneous stuff. And he said it costs like way too much. So
yeah, I mean, like, for all I'm going to say that's negative about this, all of the animated segments for the most part are fairly well done. There's a bunch of them. They're all like, insofar as what I'd expect from a YouTube video, like they do a good job of like inserting themselves into the 3D environments or 2D environments or whatever they're being inserted into.
I'd say the one that stands out as like not super great is the SpongeBob one, but that's because it's like, you know, you're comparing it to an actual SpongeBob episode, and those cost like probably $1 million each to make a SpongeBob episode these days or whatever. Yeah,
it costs like probably 5 times what they did to this, and I don't necessarily know that is 5 times better. It probably is, but
as far as like animation quality for it, I mean, for the SpongeBob one, it is all like smoothly animated, and it's 20 full minutes of SpongeBob content, and they get pretty close to like the tone of it a lot of the time, you know. So it's they're putting in the work to make this all work and be as close and good as it can possibly be, which is like, and I think the unfortunate thing, I think, is the biggest weakness of it is Nathaniel Bandy and Bathaniel Nandy, who's the other character he plays.
His friends,
and his friend Carl. I think it might be a slightly better actor, but like, you know, slightly. So I don't know, but and it because like
real valedictorian of summer school.
Yeah, very very good, but it's just there's not super charismatic and stuff, you know, and especially because the plot line is like they get this orb, which they have the Mario 63 orb, which is funny because he did a video on Mario 63 that I watched to try to get the lore, but the lore is different.
Mario 63?
It's a Flash game, like fan game of Mario, where it's like, a
fan game.
Yeah, and it's like, I've never played the whole thing. I only played like, because they recreate Bob on Battlefield in 2D, you know? It's like Mario 64 2D, kind of. But it kind of goes off the rails because you have Flood from Mario Sunshine, and like you know, like the Orb of Power shows up, and like Bowser uses it to shoot meteors at you or whatever, so.
Yeah, it sounds like a fan thing.
Yeah. But if you watch his Mario 63 review, at the end of that, a YouTuber named Indie Jacob shows up, and he asks him to buy him a cake, and then Nathaniel says no, and then they have a fight, and he shoots, Indie Jacob tries to shoot him with the meteors with the orb and stuff, and then Nathaniel wins, and then he throws the orb away in the backyard, which is a very fun fight scene. But like, it's none of that lore is like returns. I was waiting the whole time for Indie Jacob to show up because he was relevant to the Lorb's to the orb lore from the first part. I thought
the Lorb.
The Lorb, but you know, he's they rebooted the orb. It's not relevant to what it was before, apparently. I guess it's now been passed down through the Bandy family for generations. They dropped the name Arthur Bandy, which is really funny, from like the 1000s or something. And then he never shows up again or is mentioned. So I don't understand why the story is the way it is at all. But yeah, and it's just implied
Yeah,
that
I mean,
Nathaniel
definitely
has the orb forever.
as it's beginning, and it's just these two guys walking around outside in a like very plain wooded area, and they run into this like guy who's got a bunch of hats on his back, and he's like a salesman character, and I'm just like, okay, what the fuck am I watching? I believe that's the point in which I messaged you, and I'm just like, why are we watching this? What am I doing with my free time?
What the fuck, bro, or something? Yeah. So it's
yeah. But I think once they get into the different animated segments, I was much happier to watch it, even if it is some very uninteresting sounding people going through a pretty sparse plot, just kind of being like, we have to get these orbs, we have to like interact with these Nintendo characters in order to get stuff. So.
I'm surprised you don't know who that was, because that's the Happy Mask salesman from Majora's Mask. Okay.
I never played Majora's Mask. I played some of Ocarina of Time, but
he's an Ocarina of Time too. But he's like a background character in that. Yeah.
Okay.
But there, it's a decent mask salesman cosplay, I guess. He has his eyes closed because he's like squinting the whole time in the game and everything, And Tingle shows up after as well. They speed through Majora's Mask stuff at the start of it, which is really strange. Like the fight scene, that's like. He dresses up as the Majora, like, final boss fight, and then he gets the fierce deity mask and beats him, and that's sort of, like, that's how you're supposed to do it, or whatever.
This is the kind of shit that I would expect to see in, like, early 2000s YouTube, is, like,
with the
we
cardboard
really love
costumes.
Majora's Mask in particular, so we're gonna dress up in costumes and then, like, pretend to do a battle for it, and, like, as I'm watching this, I really think it is from maybe early...
Oh, sorry, you've cut out there. You might be gone. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Did the internet die? Shoot. Hello? Oh, no. Oh, hello. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, sorry. That my
disconnection there.
Yeah, it got cut off or something.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, as I'm watching, especially the early segment here, I'm like, oh yeah, this is just a early 2010s YouTuber doing something. And no, it is from 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's from 2 years ago, and it does, because I mean, there's drone shots. That should have clued you in. None of those guys said drone shots from 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. But it's and it's just the way that it's set up is so fucking funny, because they give you the orb background, and then it's just, oh yeah, we're just in the woods. We don't get introduced to these characters. If you're not familiar with Carl and Nathaniel and Bathaniel, then...
And so they've not made these kinds of video before? Like, this is the first...
They have skits sometimes, like, I mean, for the Mario 63 one, it ends with a skit. And I think they usually, like, weave the skits in with the like, main content of the video that's, like, more, Nintendo review or whatever. But it's, like... this is the first time it's been, I think, like an extended skit or like a narrative project for them, like exclusively. So I don't know. And I don't watch a ton of Nathaniel Bandy, and the stuff I do watch, like the one video I watched all the way through, he went to like every GameStop in the country, which I thought was kind of boring. Like he could have gone to like a game, not every GameStop. He went to
how many GameStops are there?
No,
he went to hundreds of places.
No, he went to one in each state, one in all 50 states.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, what would even be the point?
Yeah, which is
going to every single GameStop.
It's already kind of pointless, because he goes to them and he's like, "Yeah, I picked up the Switch game that I already have," and it's like, well, okay, man. But it's like I wish he would have gone to like one retro game store per state or something like that.
Comparing the different sales tax in different states or something. It's like, why? But yeah, you're right. Different retro game stores or different independent shops.
Yeah, that would have been more interesting. But it's like a decent video, and half of it's just like, oh, he's on like a road trip and you get to sort of hear his time on that, and it's kind of fun. And I also watched one where, like, because he has a full collection of every Nintendo 64 game, and he just went over, like, oh yeah, here are, like, the, like, 20 random games that sort of gave me, like, trouble. Like, oh, this is how I got Clay Fighter Director's Cut, or, like, random, obscure, like, rare games, and sort of going over his whole experience collecting them. And stuff like that I find more interesting than him talking about Mario 63 or something like that. So I haven't really seen much of his narrative skits or anything like that until now. So but this I think is relatively unusual, and I don't think he has ever doppeled his brain into SpongeBob before, for example.
Right.
So, yeah. Which is, I mean, that's the plot line for those who are unaware. He gets the orb, and then stuff happens, and he basically has to go through all the different universes of famous properties and stuff. Like he goes through SpongeBob.
Not even Nintendo just specifically, because they do SpongeBob.
Yeah, they do Sonic Adventure, which Sonic, I mean, they get to Sonic Adventure through the Super Smash Bros. Portals. They have portals in Smash Bros. That take them to all the other universes.
Especially the Smash Brothers, like, focus at the top of this made me really feel like this was like a Nintendo YouTuber from 15 years ago kind of thing, just because, like, I know that people still play Smash a lot, and I know that it's like really whatever big. The newest version of it people would definitely do, but like it feels particularly like, I know that like Shulk isn't it Shulk is one of the characters there?
Well, Xenoblade, it was from like 2012. He was only in Smash 4, I think, which was 2014, and then Ultimate. So.
Right. I mean,
that's still
it just really feels
ago.
Like the kind of stuff that a Nintendo fan would be making from 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah,
particularly.
It is what they were making back then, pretty much. Like not to this degree of production quality on it, I think, but yeah. And it's I mean, the Smash Bros. Thing, you can kind of, if you know what to look for, like, oh, that's Link in the Breath of the Wild costume from Ultimate, so you can kind of pick out, like, specific things. But yeah, it really does kind of look like, it could have been whenever. Because some of the character models also, they look very Melee, which is weird. So, I don't know. And I like when the characters come up to, and I don't know if, oh, fuck. We got disconnected again. God damn it. This is no good. The universe is conspiring. Are we back? Hello? We might not be back. This is fucked. It's fucking Bathaniel. He's getting us. He's getting us. Oh, shit. I don't know what's happening. Hello? How'd the call go? Pretty bad in Discord. Oh no. Hello? What's happening? Let me fucking reboot Discord. Okay. This sucks. Maybe it needs to update or something. We're not dropping frames. This is all staying in every second of this. Hello? Are we back?
Hello? Yep, I think we're back.
Shit. This sucks. It's all fucked. They're conspiring against us.
The Nathaniel Bandy fans have united to put out the hit.
They don't want it to get out. It's fucked.
Yeah. Are you able to like mark the times at all, just to?
Oh no, I'm keeping it all in. Okay, it's all important.
Okay. Yeah. This is the truth behind podcasting.
Yeah, this is the fact of the matter of what happened in our Bandy's universe. We can't hide this from the public.
Right.
Yeah, but he's Smash Bros is a fun one to start with, I guess, because you get to see all these characters, right? And I don't know if Shulk fucking talks like that in the game. I was thinking I should play Xenoblade, and I'm not doing that anymore because he sounds awful. I
remember, even in the Smash games, hearing him talk at all. So when he's got this, is it Texan or Australian?
No, he's British. He's very British.
British. Okay,
he's supposed to be. I've heard that.
Australian or something.
They might have gotten a guy who doesn't know how to do a British accent to play him or something. I don't know. But he's going, oh, blimey, and shit. And it's like, well...
Blimey, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not playing this game. Because it's like a 300-hour RPG. I'm not listening to that for that long.
Yeah, right, for 294 hours. Yeah,
if he's anything like that, I'm not playing that game. I guess I'm going to have to look into that. But, yeah. I mean, some of the other characters are fun, and Shulk is important, I guess, because he's... He can see the future. That's one of his powers and stuff. And he does that in the Smash Ultimate intro cutscene, actually. There's a cool bit where he flashes forward and he sees everyone die, and then everyone dies right after. Which is really funny.
Damn.
Yeah, but there's So he's important because he tells them like, oh well, I know where the orbs are and I can show you the way or whatever, and then he sends them on their way, and he says, well, you're gonna be successful, I know that already because
So is he involved in the overall like end game plot of this, where it's all a work by the masked character who I won't reveal who he is, but you know.
Yeah, I don't think Shulk
is Shulk involved in this, or Shulk is just kind of a useful idiot who's guiding them along the way without knowing what the.
He wouldn't be involved in the plan. He just sees like vague visions of the future, sort of. He sees like flashes, like exactly what it is in the show, you know. So he sees. I don't think he's like conspiring with our mysterious villain at the end. Yeah, he's sort of. Yeah. So that's you know, and I don't remember what made all the Smash Bros people get mad at them and try to hunt them down for a minute, and I don't remember why. I think it's because they blew up Steve's box.
Yeah, they blew up the world that they were in. So
yeah, which is
or the entrance to it.
They gloss over that like really quickly. Were they destroying those universes? Did they fucking, is Knuckles like fucked and gone forever? Like,
I do not know. I don't know whether it's just that's their pathway into the like Smash world or the overworld here, but
yeah. But like if they take anything out of like a universe, then that universe is fucked, or the maybe just the box that they used to enter it is fucked. We're not sure. Yeah. So, which like that feels like a very cruel thing to do to like all these people. Minecraft Steve shows up for a minute, and he doesn't have like an official canonical voice, so they come up with the most obnoxious voice they can for some reason for him. Yeah. I
was so pissed watching this just because it's like the only real exposure I have to Minecraft is the movie with Jack Black as Steve. So when he's doing this crazy voice, I'm like, is this really how it's supposed to sound?
I think Jack Black as Steve is probably preferable to whatever this was, honestly.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me to hear that.
Yeah, but you know, it's it's very strange because Steve does not have a real voice in any of the games or anything, as far as I know, at least. Who else do they meet? They talk to Kirby for a second, and Kirby goes Poyo because that's all Kirby says, and so they move on to someone else.
Kirby seems really small, like
he is
more than
small.
He should be. I feel like.
I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be small. Like, I mean, in the Smash Bros games, he's like as tall as everyone else, you know, because they gotta make that work. He seemed
like 1 foot tall or something.
He looked, and especially the angle of them like talking to him, where it's like sort of a Kirby POV almost. They are like crouching right down because the camera's like on the floor or whatever.
Kirby's official height is 8 inches.
Oh my god. Okay, so they're
the fuck?
They're closer to it than Smash Bros.
Realistic.
Was. Yeah, because in Smash Bros he's Mario's height.
Than he should be.
Yeah, I mean, so is Olimar though, and Olimar is the size of like a. When they do Pikmin, they compare him to like a GameCube memory card in the manual. They say Olimar's that tall, so you know. Okay. They got to change their sizes to make them fight properly in Smash Bros.
Yeah, damn. Kirby should be absolutely tiny and then like sucking these people in.
Yeah. Which I mean, I guess that means because everything in Kirby's world is kind of scaled to him, you know, like all the bosses are like, you know, 5 or 10 times bigger than him or whatever, but still.
Yeah.
That's weird though. I didn't know that because you don't really get a scale when you're playing Kirby because everyone's in his world. You know, all the enemies are his size. That's fun. But yeah. And that doesn't, because there's a game where Kirby goes to like the world, like Forgotten Land, where he goes to a world that has like cars and stuff. It's like a post-apocalypse, but all the he can swallow a car and become the car. So like, the cars aren't like giant around him. That's really weird.
All right, inconsistency in video game heights.
Yeah.
Who knew it was happening? It definitely never happens in Pokemon. Charizard is definitely just as tall as me, or shorter, actually.
Yeah, he's like 5'6" or some shit, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, fucking manlet Charizard.
Yeah. But then in the show, they let Ash ride him. So, I mean, maybe Ash is like 3 foot. I don't know.
Maybe Ash is like 3'5" or something, yeah.
Yeah. You know. But they are pretty inconsistent with all this and stuff. There's one shot that I really liked where because they go through all of the Smash Bros like characters, they're sort of just messing around in the hallway, I guess. There's like all the Links are doing their stuff. They got Ice Climbers are training, and then they pan over to Rob the robot, and he's just playing Gyromite, which I thought made me laugh because he's fucking Rob the robot. That's all his bitch ass can do is play fucking Gyromite. So like, yeah, that was a good.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it was a good bit.
Yeah, I like seeing all the Smash characters here. It's at least diverting to not be stuck with these bunch of white dudes.
Yeah, with just fucking with Nathaniel and his friend, and also Nathaniel, who's on the green screen the whole show, which is like a great dynamic to act off of, is when the other character is just you, and he's not. You can't really be there. Which I don't know what the Bathaniel lore is. He's obsessed with boulders in this. I'm not sure if that's like a thing. Huh. I don't know why.
So it's like his. I thought it was his brother, but it's literally him, and it's like.
No, he's
like a different.
Yeah, it's him. He just puts on a hat. Yeah, and it's Bathaniel Nandy, who is some
Bathaniel Nandy.
Yeah, which that's like what his like second channel or whatever is called. I don't know if it's like he pretends to be someone else on that channel or what. I have no idea. That's very strange. Yeah. But yeah, he is just, he's not in all the show, you know. They kind of get rid of him at a certain point, which is funny because they go to the SpongeBob world and then they fucking leave, and they just leave him there, and he's just Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, he's just there. He's just there, world. Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, and that's a weird thing, is that for most of the show, when they go to these universes, they have to like choose a character to be. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or they get put
like in the Sonic world, they're playing as like an old man like guy and then two kids, right?
Yeah, those are just like characters who run around in the overworld of like, they're like NPCs or whatever in that game, I think.
But then they get to pick characters and they become SpongeBob, or are they picking them, or they just wake up with them?
For 1,000 Year Door, they pick them, but they pick one of them picks the Goomba, and then they're Goombella, and they're like unhappy about it. So like I don't know what is going on with the picking and whether they're actually able to or not. So, and if they're able to, like they should, because they have to like figure out who each other are, you know, and that's the problem with the SpongeBob one, is they can't figure out that one of them is Mr. Krabs.
I was surprised in that one that they weren't more just like, even if you're just saying nonsense, which is like, my name's actually Nathaniel, other fish or whatever, and SpongeBob would probably just be like, that's weird. But like it's a pretty low barrier to just say to a random person, hey, are you Nathaniel? Are you whatever? And just try to figure out who they are. But yeah, they really don't seem to figure out that he's Mr. Krabs.
If someone came up to me and asked if I was Bathaniel, I'd think that was weird. But in this universe, no one takes issue with that name at all. So, you know,
no,
which is which is fun.
So I think the SpongeBob segment is the best well done thing here. Like they devote the most time to it. You basically go through all the characters, or the main characters in SpongeBob in some way. I think it's less interesting that it's like just their voices on SpongeBob characters. So like,
and that's where all the clips on Twitter and stuff that you see of like, oh, like Mario enters and he's like, Nathan, where are you? You know, like those are the clips that get spread around because people don't know that there's like an explanation and that they are these characters. My assumption was that, oh, that's just Mario, and they just Nathaniel Bandy just played Mario and didn't bother giving him the voice. But it's not like that bizarre.
Like a Chris Pratt Mario deal.
Yeah, exactly. Which I mean, that's probably why, because there's precedent for that now for real Mario.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so. There's a famous screenshot too of like Nathaniel Bandy did a poll when the Mario movie got announced. He's like, which Mario is better, Mario movie or Bandy's Universe Mario? And you can see it on the results.
Did he win?
No, it's overwhelmingly Chris Pratt Mario was the result, and it's like a really funny screenshot. Would
come out for him.
No, they did not. They were like, no, fuck this. Just like, that's very. It's
okay. Okay, good for his fans then.
Yeah, I mean, I think like.
Well, I'm not sure Chris Pratt deserves those flowers though.
No. I think this was only when the trailer was out or something. It wasn't like when the whole movie was done. Yeah. But it's like I mean, I think he's relatively self-aware about this. Like he's aware. Like whenever other parts of his persona have become memes, like there was a TikTok that was like, "Ain't you Nathaniel B?" and everyone connected that to him because he is Nathaniel B. What is that?
It's funny.
I'm getting phone calls and shit. This episode's fucked.
Whoa.
It's toll-free service. I'm not answering.
That's Nathaniel Bandy calling. Are you gonna answer?
That's him. He's trying to shut it down. He couldn't get her internet, so he's calling. Yeah.
Yep. He's gonna keep calling.
Oh man. I'll put my phone on silent if he calls again. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's yeah. I think fuck, I completely lost my train of thought. Shit.
Oh, you were talking about how he takes criticism or takes like memes about him pretty well.
Yeah, he's sort of like, there's a video where he went over like, oh, this is a bunch of stuff that happened this year, and he's like, oh well, yeah, my profile picture became a meme for a month, and it's like, oh well, that was weird, but it was kind of fun, you know, and I guess I'm gonna keep that profile picture longer now, because
that's how you should treat this stuff. And I think recently Nostalgia Critic has been getting some love just because like he is also just not bothered when people make fun of him or when there's like obvious criticism of the shit he does. Like that is the way you have to treat shit, is that it's not a big deal, like especially if you're somebody as long lived or has been on the internet as long as somebody like Nostalgia Critic, where it's just like yeah, whatever, like I'll just keep making my stuff, I like making it. And if people want to make fun of me, then I'm in on the joke. I understand that I'm kind of ridiculous. Like that is the way to treat everything.
And that works out well for them. So I think for Nathaniel Bandy, he's he takes it all pretty well. I think, you know, like there was a video I saw where it was before the show release, and he was like, yeah, I don't know if people are gonna like this. I don't know what they're gonna think about it, but I'm putting it out, and I had fun making it. He says
generally speaking, just have a good time, and the people who like it will like it, and I'm sure there will be a ton of people who don't, but that's just how the world works now. So
yeah, and that I mean, it works out good, you know. So
yeah, and
his videos do very, very well. You know, he had a weird setup where he did like kind of low effort commentary kind of videos on the same channel, which sort of most people, they split them up. They have one channel for low effort like short videos about like whatever Nintendo news, and then they have like the main edited ones, and he just sort of put them all in one channel for a while, and then I think he's put them back on separate ones or something. But you know, so his videos are all very, 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 very normal Nintendo stuff, which is just, and it's just kind of shocking that he made something like this, I think, and that it came out the way it did. And there's an extended Undertale section, which I was getting.
Yes, there is, which I also don't really know Undertale that well. I kind of just know Sans Undertale. I know Flowey or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sick of hearing about goddamn Undertale, so I was like annoyed watching that whole bit. I was like pissed. So, but it went on so long.
And that was 2 years ago. Do you think it was definitely overplayed even 2 years ago, right?
It was absolutely fucking done 2 years ago. Yeah. And especially now, I mean, Deltarune keeps coming up every time Deltarune releases a new thing, because that's the spiritual successor, half sequel, whatever complicated lore reason they have for that, where like half the characters are back but some of them aren't, and you know, but it's and that like brings it all back around every single time there's more of that. And it's just sort of, especially since the last update to that, it's been like constant Deltarune and Undertale stuff online, and I'm like, I don't want to see fucking Sans ever again in my life, dude. I'm so done with it.
I used to be a substitute teacher, and one of the kids in one of my classes was obsessed with Undertale and Sans and stuff like that. And, like, that was just a way that I was like, oh, you like Undertale, huh? And he would just do the Undertale music at me, and I'd be like, all right.
like sing it at you, or
yeah.
Okay. When was this, like 2016, 2017 when that was coming out?
Around 2016.
Okay, yeah.
Probably, actually,
that's when it really
2017, 2018.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of had like a slow burn grow to like massive hype, I think, but it was that whole like 2 year period you couldn't get away from the song, so
right.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing with the Undertale part, though, is even if I'm annoyed to see it, like, it's all very well animated and stuff, and it looks really good the whole time. And it's just
one of my. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, but by this point, they've got because they're absorbing. I forget how or why they're able to absorb the video game powers, but like they're using Mega Man 2 powers against Sans and stuff, and that's like fun to see.
Yeah,
like
right.
If I liked Mega Man and Undertale,
are the saw blades or whatever? Is that a Mega Man power?
Yeah, that's like the best power in Mega Man 2 is the Metal Man saw blades. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
God, there's so many things that like I can at least assume that's what they're going for, but I really don't have any like good frame of reference for it. So
they do a lot in F-Zero, and that's like how you know it's a passion project, is because they fucking they go to the goddamn F-Zero universe, and like no one, most people have only played that Super Nintendo one, and there's no fucking universe to that game. So it's like, this is shit from like F-Zero GX on the GameCube or something. I don't even know. So it's very, very bizarre.
Was the Zero game was GX.
It was that one, yeah, on the GameCube.
Did they do something for DS or something that would have come out? But I don't
think so. No, I think it has been like 20 years since they did F-Zero, and like he's most known for being a Smash Bros guy now at this point. Captain Falcon.
F-Zero will die when the last F-Zero fan like stops remembering it.
I think he's going to be Captain Falcon's going to be in every Smash Bros forever until the end of time, because he was in the first one and stuff on N64, so. He's got to always come back.
Like, it's got to be that Captain Falcon is the only, like, replicable thing from that anyone can point to, right?
Pretty much. I mean, I'd like, recognize a sprite from the SNES game or whatever. I recognize... Because there's the character he talks to that, like, looks kind of like Fox from Star Fox. And that's, that's a whole thing about why this character who looks like Fox is in F-Zero. There's, like, lore to it or something related to the Star Fox universe. I don't remember any of the details on that, but it's like, and I don't know why that character is one that gets so focused on in this show, you know. And that one, I think for that one, there's sort of a mismatch of who they got to make it, because the animation for all the F-Zero like racing scenes are really like extremely good, you know, and there's like great shaders and everything on all the environments, and it all looks beautiful, but like the character animation in that part is like noticeably really bad. It's just like they move very stiffly and strangely, and it's like, I feel like they should have gotten like someone to do the characters and someone to do the environments and stuff separately. So I don't know, but it's just the fact that they have like scenes in F-Zero land and they go there for a long time. It's like, this is clearly, everything in this is something Nathaniel Bandy like wanted to be in it. You know, he's not like I think like Undertale must be in here because he wanted it, you know. It's not like, oh well, if I put an Undertale episode, then a bunch of people are going to watch it, you know.
People like it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what I come across, or I come to at the end of this, is that even if I kind of look at this and be like, yeah, somebody with like a YouTube audience is like doing shit from like 20 years ago, and I just find it distasteful. It's at least not shit like fucking Mr. Beast or something. You can tell that this guy is really passionate about this. This is the kind of content he likes. This is the stuff he wants to do. So at the end of the day, I have to respect it. I have to give him and I think it's just well done generally. Like he got creatives and he got animators who do a good job of what they're doing, and that's admirable, as long as he paid them well, I guess.
Yeah, he must have. If he's estimating $200,000 for like a sequel, then he must be paying pretty well for this one. And it's I mean, you can, the credits and stuff, they're extensive. There's like a lot of people working on it. He got like some of the music I kind of, he gets like specific people who are very popular for like their Nintendo metal cover and stuff. There's like people who've been doing that for 15 years. I think he got some of them to do it. Like Game Metal is one of them and stuff like that. So it's like, it's a very thorough kind of like love letter to this whole classic Nintendo community, you know. There's no like Angry Nerd cameo, which would have been neat if he could
that would have been the ultimate for you.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get fucking Angry Video Game Nerd to interact with these people. Scott the Woz got him once for like a Christmas intro one time, where he reads he's like at the start of like the Grinch or whatever, he sort of reads the intro to a thing. But yeah, and I guess we should talk
go into
about
Metroid Prime at some point, and I really like Metroid Prime, so that's fine. I wanted to point out some of the like 3D, especially when they go into like kind of a Mario Odyssey kind of place. Like the 3D is almost disconcertingly like detailed, like the hair and stuff, and it's just
the hair
like
is strange sometimes.
I totally understand that it's like they're putting effort into making it as detailed as possible, but I'm so used to like the slightly cartoony style that Nintendo uses for stuff, and it just looks slightly off-putting when they're looking at that kind of stuff.
There was a controversy, like not like a real controversy, like a minor, you know, like this is a thing people talked about and thought was weird, was like when Mario Odyssey came out, that Mario has like more detailed hair in that game, and it's kind of weird looking. So it's accurate for that one. It is less accurate when they go to Animal Crossing and Tom Nook has creepy fucking physics fur on him, and that looks horrible. But yeah. Everything else about the Animal Crossing one is pretty good. The text is weird. They just did a mask effect on the text instead of doing it letter by letter like in the game. But like that's a bitch and a half to try to do in Premiere or whatever. So I can see why they did it that way. Yeah, but it's
I mean, like every game they go into is like identifiably that game. You can see what they're going for. I think it's generally well done for the most part. So yeah, they put in the effort, and it kind of shows throughout the thing. You just got to get past the first couple minutes of it.
Yeah, it paid off a lot of it, I think. Where else do they go? They go to Pokemon for a minute, and they don't replicate any kind of real Pokemon style. But
because it's an animated Pokemon, but it's not really like the Pokemon anime.
No,
and it's not much like any of the older games at all. So I'm kind of
it just
like
looks
as
like
much as they really
fan animation. For
it just
Pokemon,
looks like a YouTube fan animation for stuff. It looks fine.
They did the same thing for Undertale, I think. Yeah, and it looks. I think that looks pretty good and stuff. Like it's a really good like YouTube animation kind of quality to it and stuff.
Version of that. And like I do like that, like when they're like looking around or something, you can see like the water in the background and then like boulders or the fence, I'm sorry. So like it looks like the kind of like game environment you'd be in from the game's just animated version of that. But it's odd that they don't put more effort into, like, could you imagine if they did an entire 8-bit section of this? Or
they did for Mega Man. They pretty much did,
but I guess like make it look like the Pokemon games, which I guess isn't.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool. That probably would have been easier too, because those games are very, like, because they went to Johto, which is Generation 2. That game is extremely simple visually. Like that would be super easy to do, but it would also like be weird if they talked, I guess, and stuff, in like on like a Game Boy thing. I don't know. It already looks weird when the Mega Man sprites like talk and animate like people, kind of. Looks very much like Dorkly, which I actually checked the credits to see if it was Dorkly.
If it was not,
it was not them, but it reminded me a lot. Yeah. But there's I like the Pokemon bit because Johto is my favorite Pokemon region. Oh my god, I'm getting pings and shit.
Oh man,
I'm getting all so much bullshit on this computer. But yeah, there's I really enjoy that.
Johto is definitely one of my favorites of Pokemon. Yeah, I played that a lot growing up.
One of them becomes specifically Kurt, who makes the Pokeballs and stuff. He's like that one guy in that.
Yeah, the old guy.
Yeah.
With no shoes on.
Yeah, and he's Kurt, who's like kind of a minor important character in the one
I'm
section
so
of that game.
I'm so confused about that, just because it's like, is the joke that they can't control who they're going to go into, so that guy just goes into Kurt randomly?
I guess so, or maybe he wanted to be Kurt or something. But it's like it's really inconsistent, because they do get to choose the one time for Thousand Year Door when they go to that. One of them becomes the Pianta, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a gang leader. I just wanted the sunglasses," But there's, then it becomes an important story point that they can't control it though for the SpongeBob part. So I don't understand that at all, and why it's so inconsistent. And that feels like something you'd want to iron out when you're writing it and stuff,
In the writing, like at the very beginning of the process.
Yeah. But and I mean, eventually they get control of it, which is neat, I guess. And then in the Mega Man bit, they're Nathaniel and his friend specifically, as sprites, and that's kind of fun to see. But it's like and it's also because they are. I think it's explained that they're Mii's at the start of it. But they don't bother like animating them as Mii's the whole time.
And like
So I'm not sure what is with that there. Maybe it's like if you go behind the scenes to the character select, and you are the Mii's, then you just become yourself in Smash Bros. World specifically or something, because of how it works as a franchise. I don't know. Yeah, they don't explain that in too much depth, and then it becomes a weird story point later. So. I don't know. I guess should we move into the big finale though, the big grand ending?
Yes, because I messaged you, said just wait for the big finale as we were watching it, and I was like, all right, we'll see what happens. And then it happens, and I'm like, oh, I don't know who this is actually. I've definitely heard of him, but yeah, when they reveal it, I was like, all right.
I'm shocked
So
you don't know.
go ahead, tell us who it is.
He's Scott the Woz, okay? Scott the Woz. He is right now. And for the last like 8 years, he's been like the biggest Nintendo YouTube guy. You know, he's his videos I think are generally they're very good. He's got a great sort of sense for editing and pacing of all his stuff. He's got great music choices. His whole friend group are like just fun to like watch them hang out and mess around and do like skits for these. All of his videos got like well over 1 million views and stuff. He's massive YouTuber and stuff, you know. And for a very long time, he was doing a video every week. He's sort of pulled back on that, and now he has like second channels, and the main channel videos are like more rare, but they're a lot longer and more detailed and stuff. So he's figured out like this great system and everything, and he's it's definitely like, yeah, you're meant to cheer when he shows up because he is like the biggest guy in this environment,
in this community
right now.
YouTube. Yeah,
he's the biggest fish in the Nintendo pond. Yeah, I would have cheered just as much if Arlo showed up though too. So
who?
Arlo is a puppet. If you look up Arlo, he's a blue Muppet guy. And but the funny thing is he just makes like normal Nintendo videos, but like if he's on camera, instead of it being him, it's just a Muppet, and he really likes the Muppets, but like the Muppet thing is not like integral to most of his content.
Is it ARLO?
Yeah. And you can just look at like one of his videos, and it's like half of the videos he's not even on camera, and it's just Arlo in the fucking in the thumbnail, which is really funny. But you know, it's really when you see him and stuff, and he's actually sometimes he'll put a tie.
Is he based on an
him.
actual Muppet?
No, it's like a custom Muppet, or like he bought it from a store, like a specific like Muppet knockoff store 10 years ago. I don't know.
Okay.
He blew up around the Switch era. You know, he did a whole lot of coverage of the whole Nintendo Switch and all of its stuff that whole time, and he got very big because of it. And I like Arlo. I like he's got interesting opinions on a lot of these things, I guess, if you watch him. But it's just the fact that he's a Muppet, and it's like it's sort of fallen to the wayside, and it's not like integral that he's a Muppet, but like he's never gonna change that. It's just really funny to me. So yeah, you know, and he does all sorts of videos, and it would have been fun if he popped up, but getting Scott the Woz in as the villain at the end, and there's no setup or anything of Scott. He's just comes out of because they're talking to this big evil stone monster the whole time.
Trapezoid.
Yeah, and he has like a completely different voice for most of it, and then he breaks open and he's just Scott the Woz, and then he turns into like a different crystal monster anyway, but he still sounds like.
It looks like Deoxys. It looks like Deoxys with a different.
With like a weird head on him. Yeah, it's bizarre. But like, you know, it's the big cameo at the end of it.
Yeah, it just washed right by me. I was like, okay, yeah. I know of Scott the Woz, but I did not know that he's a big person. Or I guess the fact that I even have heard of him means he's big. Yeah, because otherwise I wouldn't have any idea too.
I mean, they don't bring in any Scott the Woz lore. They don't talk about the blue border or anything like that. So I don't know how he became this stone guy at the end of the universe in the void or whatever. They don't explain that or go into it at all. But he wants all the orbs so he can escape and I guess turn them into that. And he's got all the superpowers from all the games as well. So, you know, and that whole scene, it has really high quality animation to it. Like they got like the most expressive animator to do that whole ending fight scene and everything, and I think it's really well done, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a very bizarre thing that it's Scott the Woz though, and it's very funny. I'm glad he's in it though, and I think you can hear in the voice acting, like you compare when he puts like 100% into his performance as these characters.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
And he's doing like he does that constantly in his videos. You know, he's very very high energy, and it's very entertaining to watch for those. So that's you know, that's sort of why he's popular, is because he can do these sort of ridiculous skits and give them a level that's very fun to watch. Right. but you get him here with fucking Nathaniel Bandy and Carl, and it's like, well, just the contrast on their performances is very strange. So, you know,
this video truly is the land of contrasts of the relative entertainment of the performances being given versus the like level of quality of animation and like just how much effort you can tell is put into everything else.
Yeah. And those live action bits especially are just so fucking, they look so bad with those drone shots and everything. It's like, my God.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of them, which is probably a good call.
I wonder, is it on purpose? Like, was it made that way as like a throwback kind of thing?
I think it's definitely like, to a degree, it's like a self-aware kind of throwback, you know, like the, because I mean, this is like the format for like 10-15 years. It was always this. It was Angry Nerd did this. It was Nostalgia Critic, JonTron did this, and Scott the Wise is still doing it to some degree, but his are a little different, I think. But it's fun that it exists, I think, and it's sort of, because people will watch to this day. They'll watch Kick-Assia. They'll do podcasts about Kick-Assia and all the other Nostalgia Critic movies, and just like being baffled by the fact that they made it and that it's like that.
I tried to watch Atop the Fourth Wall, and I couldn't. I tapped out after maybe 10-15 minutes.
Is that one just the comic book guy, Linkara?
Yeah, Linkara,
yeah. Is he still doing that? He's the Lightbringer, right? Is the Lightbringer in his comic, or is that just, or the Lightbringer was his comic or something, or is it lore in his show?
I just had an idea for the Batman wheel, which is that we read the Lightbringer comic.
Oh my God. Well, guess who's not here to say that's a bad idea? It's going on right now. Hell yeah.
Oh man, we'll learn all about the slavers, which is I think
slavers. What?
Yeah, I think that's the villain group in the Lightbringer comic.
Oh no!
They just find women on the street and then they enslave them.
What the? Okay. Oh man!
I am not making this up. This is really what the Lightbringer comic is like.
Okay. Oh my God! I just looked him. Look at that suit on him too, with the weird mask on it. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. We got it. We got to do it. We got to do it. It's going on right now.
The comic book medium that Batman belongs to. So therefore, Lightbringer.
Yeah, we can do the Lightbringer.
Does he have a Star of David? Okay, it just looks like a Star of David.
No, it's like a Captain Marvel logo or something. Yeah, but it's wow. That's great. That'll be a fantastic episode when we get there. And poor Florian, Florian's he's gonna be so confused as to what the
honestly
hell that
looking
is.
at it, I'm so confused that he did not also draw it. Like
he didn't.
It says pencils, inking, and coloring by someone else. Maybe Ted Sage is a nom de plume of Linkara.
Okay. How long is it? What do you say? There's we might not be able to do every single one, perhaps, because that might be no good.
There's like 6 years of it, so.
Oh God. Okay, we're gonna have to find like what's the Lightbringer highlight.
We'll do like the first 5. We'll do the origin story of Lightbringer.
That'd be good, yeah. Just and maybe after that we'll do more if we like it.
Here's a 4.5 hour long video of someone who read all of his comics.
That's good.
Don't think that's preferable.
Yeah. My God. But yeah, that's I mean it is in that vein though. This Bandy's Universe is that really classic like just as people made things on the internet without shame in the past, no one would be ironic about it to them. They just made what they loved, and I'm glad that people are still doing it. Nathaniel Bandy's keeping that alive. Or
absolutely.
He was. He's not doing season 2. He said he's not, so.
He's not? Okay.
No.
Maybe they could do a lower budget version or something, but no.
People suggested to do like a comic or something. I'm not sure if he's interested in that, but yeah. I would, he said he can't do like a Kickstarter because obviously like you can't make a Kickstarter where Mario's like one of the main characters in your project. And he doesn't want to do it without any of the IPs and stuff because that's sort of, I don't know what Bandy's Universe is without him going into SpongeBob and you play through a whole SpongeBob episode, you know. I'm not sure it works.
I was gonna say, would he have other things that he loves as much as something like SpongeBob that he would go into, or
I don't know.
Like,
Well, I mean, any IP you could
like
use if it were a Kickstarter project, but like, yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure what he likes outside of Nintendo and other stuff. I don't even know what he likes as far as Nintendo, because he hadn't played like Zelda until pretty recently. He played all the Zelda games for a video, and he hadn't played like most of them before that. So I'm not actually sure where his specific interest lies for the most part. I guess probably Mario, because a lot of his videos are like Mario challenges or whatever. How long does it take to get 999 stars in Mario Party, you know? Stuff like that. I taught Scott the Woz Mario 64 speedrunning. I actually want to watch that one. I'm gonna put that one on. That sounds fun. Yeah. Oh, and he did a whole bunch of Mario Wonder stuff for a long time when that came out, you know. Yeah. He's Nathaniel Bandy. He's been doing his stuff for a very long time, and he's sort of managed to evolve with the times in ways that some of these other people have not, you know.
Have not, yeah.
I'd say Angry Video Game Nerd, his stuff is about the same kind of, and there's a whole bunch of lore and controversy around the Angry Nerd and whether he's putting the effort in or other people are writing for him. He's got his set.
I think I heard some of that. He at some point farmed it out to others to create some of his content, or
yeah, there was a period where a lot of stuff was like written and edited by Screenwave and stuff, which are just like a YouTube MCN group of people and stuff. And there was like a whole fucking issue there, and there was like plagiarism in some of his videos, and there were all sorts of issues.
Oh man.
And I think nowadays it's unknown if other people are writing for him, but he's like more involved, in his videos are better than they were for that period. At a certain
point, if it's gotten out, you've got to really take some pride in what you do and start doing it again, because people have found out.
Yeah, but there's sort of the issue he sort of ran into is that he was clearly, the parts that he was doing were only the parts that he didn't care for, it seemed, because he wasn't writing and he wasn't editing. The parts he was doing was just filming it and stuff, you know, like he would film it and do the voiceover, but like, because the nerd, his famous set was in the basement, right? He had a house where he had a big basement with all the games and everything. But when he moved houses, he didn't have like the basement anymore, so he remade the whole set in his garage.
Oh my god.
But it's like, it's way smaller now. So, and he talks about there's all sorts of issues with like, he can't do like a bunch of camera angles because he doesn't want to move the tripod around. And then there's like this whole behind the scenes video where he goes over problems that he's had with the set and stuff. And it's like, he has to.
I kind of feel bad for him, just because like you kind of have you built up an expectation for things are going to be this way, but like when you move, like that's not. But like I totally understand people.
He should have just switched set, or he should buy like a studio space or something where it can be bigger than his garage, I guess. But like
but it also doesn't feel good to be like, well, this is why I can't do it. Well, then just don't do it. Like find something else that you can do that fits what you have now. And
and it's sort of, I mean, he still makes interesting videos where it's just like, oh, he's going to talk about like movies that he likes and stuff, you know, and those videos are more interesting than modern Angry Nerd.
Is he the guy that didn't review the Lady Ghostbusters movie or something?
Yeah, he did no review, I refuse, which was a classic video.
To a certain extent, I kind of admire that, just because like I would rather you say, I'm just not going to review this, I don't think it's going to be for me.
Yeah,
I think that's fine as long as you don't make like a huge deal out of it, rather than be like, I saw this and I got really mad at it, and now I'm going to tell you about all the things that were terrible about this movie. Well, you went in not thinking you weren't going to like it, and you didn't like it. So
well, yeah, I mean, for being the Angry Video Game Nerd, you know, that's like his whole bit. He tries to keep it pretty positive for a lot of other stuff, especially for movie reviews. Yeah, so, and he seems like a very good normal person. You know, he's a lot. Some of what he talks about is like he doesn't have time to make a lot of really in-depth videos because he spends a lot of time with his family and stuff, which is like, you know,
good.
If you're like a YouTube millionaire or whatever, I don't know how much he has, but like you've been doing that for 10 years and you have a family now, like you can go do that as like your main focus, you know, that's understandable. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah. It is just very funny, though, some of his videos where he goes behind the scenes and just all these issues he has with the set. And he doesn't like having things on the floor, so he ties the lights to the ceiling with zip ties, which is a really funny... Yeah.
That seems like it's going to be a hell to move around at all.
It's like it's not an adjustable set, which is part of the problem, because one thing people complained about was like, oh, well, if you watch old Angry Nerd videos, it's like, well, he'll get up and he'll go to the shelf and there'll be different shots where he's looking through the shelf.
Movement.
And then,
there's
a shot through the shelf, and all this stuff. And then modern ones, he's just sort of on the couch, and then maybe there'll be a wide shot sometimes. And that's like, well, because his whole set is like fucked, because he has like a weird camera setup he like nailed some shit into boards of wood, so that's all weird and complicated. And then he's tying the lights to the ceiling, so like his stuff is not mobile, and like he can't really do that as much as he used to. So that's
very funny.
Yeah. So he has a lot of issues, and like part of it is just he's like self-taught in all of this stuff. He's very he's pretty old and pretty old-minded for a lot of these things. He's like he's like 40 or whatever, so he's not up to date on like he had like a whole bunch of issues with his servers and his computer and everything, and he could not figure that out because he's not a super computer guy. I'm confused by that,
because if you're making like tons of money on this, why don't you just get somebody who knows that stuff? And
I don't understand why you wouldn't get like, oh well, if I'm gonna have a team, then the team is going to like film and shoot it for me, and I'm going to be on camera, like I'm gonna act, and they're gonna make they're gonna do the parts that I don't really care for or whatever, like they're gonna deal with the audio issues, like why get them to write and edit for you, because those are the parts that are like the most. I mean, I can see editing, I guess, but like why writing? Because that's like sort of the point, is if you want to hear what James Rolfe, Angry Nerd, thinks about these games or whatever, you don't want someone else writing for him, because he is like the brand for it. So
you're the personality, you're the person people come to see.
Yeah. And I know Scott the Woz has sort of transitioned recently into more of a setup with other people. Nathaniel Bandy also, he has like a bunch of editors. I don't know the details on his stuff though. So for Scott the Woz, what he's done is he has people who edit for him. It's just his friends though, who like show up in the skits and stuff. He's just like brought them on as employees and like taught them editing software. So like now they edit like the second channel videos and stuff like that. And it seems like he's got like a way better setup of like, I do the parts I want to do, and I farm out like, well, if I'm gonna do a video where I'm sitting down and I'm just going over like, oh, this was a weird period in the Zelda series, then someone else can edit that for me, And that seems like a better setup for like a creative enterprise. So
something like this. Yeah. And I understand there's burnout at a certain point. You can't do this stuff for years and years and years and still maintain the same level of interest and the same like.
Yeah. I mean, I do Half-Life videos. I gotta be fully honest. I got really tired of doing Half-Life stuff for a while, and I just didn't make stuff for like a year. So that's not good.
Yeah, you're gonna burn out sometimes. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm back though. I'm working on a Half-Life video for
We're back. We love Half-Life again, folks.
Yeah, for all you who are interested in an update on the Purple Colonel main channel at the end of this this Bandy's Universe podcast, I'm working on a video.
Made it through.
Yeah, I'm working on a Rosenberg deep dive. Okay, Dr. Rosenberg from Blue Shift. We're going into it.
All right.
Yeah.
Like the first level of Half-Life 2.
Well, you don't want to talk about the first level because it's just that's just the train and
it's just like a physics training. Yeah.
Yeah, you just wander around and
they just show you a seesaw, and they're like, you can put things on this end of the seesaw. And
yeah, and it does seesaw.
Incredible.
Incredible. Yeah, I gotta do a big. I was gonna do a big video on the whole physics of Half-Life, but like I don't know how interesting I can make it and stuff or what to get into. But I don't know. I'll figure that out someday, maybe. Who knows? But yeah. Do we have anything else to discuss, though, for Bandy's Universe?
No, and I honestly, when I started watching the video, I'm like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to talk about this for more than 10 minutes, but I think we did a good job of covering it. But yeah, I have to respect the effort that they're putting into this, and it was much better than I thought. It's not, certainly for me, it's not something that I'm going to start watching his channel because I love his stuff, but I can respect what was put into this.
Yeah, I'm glad I watched it. It is like one thing is just when Scott the Woz shows up and he's like, you know what Woz stands for? And it's like, that part, I could feel it in my bones, the like a level of like cringe, like physical cringe that I was experiencing there. And that, I think it's just because I didn't feel that for the rest of it. I think I felt like secondhand embarrassment for Scott the Woz or something, because I watch a lot of his stuff, so I you know. But he clearly, I mean, he wanted, I don't know if he was paid to do this. I think that they just do videos where they talk to each other sometimes, though. So I think they're just like, you know, friends, like on YouTube and in real life maybe or something. They probably live in like different states or whatever, because they're always on Discord. But you know, this is not like he didn't like, he wasn't forced into doing this. He wasn't unhappy to do it, I'm sure. But I felt bad for him just physically and instinctually that he was in this at the end of it, and they made him say he's the Wizard of Zenith and stuff. So I don't know.
What does that mean? What when they're talking about that, what does that mean?
That's something that you can WOZ, okay? That's something that you can make Woz stand for.
Oh, so it's just a random thing. It was not a reference to anything?
No, that's not. Because the real reason it's Scott the Woz is because his last name is Wozniak. So like,
right,
yeah.
Right.
So that's some made up shit for the show.
Okay.
Which, you know, it's just to get that epic badass line out of him, you know. So, man.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Did you see? Oh, what do you think of the Hasselhoff cameo?
So it's clearly a cameo in every sense of the word, because they literally just went on Cameo and paid him like, yeah, 50 bucks or whatever
he charges.
Yeah, and you can go onto their website and see the full cameo. That's fine. I like fun stuff like that. It's just being like, we'll get the cameo performance from Hasselhoff with everything that entails, and it's pretty funny as a joke. He's just like, oh, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a Jesus Christ. When I Google it, it says Hasselhoff cameos cost $500. So.
Wow. Okay. Wait.
My God.
I'm saying underestimated him by like 10 times.
Yeah. Jesus. But you know, he's yeah. I mean, I'm glad. Like he's a SpongeBob guy, you know, because he was in the movie. So I think that's fun that they got him in there for a second, and just the fact that like David Hasselhoff, probably doesn't know who Nathaniel Bandy is, but he said the name. So. That's right.
That's funny. That's what we wanted.
Yeah, Nathaniel Bandy. It's just a funny name to say, Nathaniel Bandy. You know, it's got like a nice sound to it that is entertaining in its own way. I think. I don't know. The first time I heard about him was from Simple Flips, who does like Mario 64 ROM hacks, Let's Plays and stuff like that. He just plays, and he did a lot of like live streaming. He did the Scuttlebug Bandy bit. And I don't, it's just, it's like 3 layers of bullshit nonsense to get to Scuttlebug Bandy. But like, you know, it was a fun bit though. Fucking, I should send you the Scuttlebug Bandy collection video, because it's a good set of clips. Scuttlebug Bandy.
Okay. How long is it?
It's like now they're like 20 minutes, but I'll send you the 7-minute one.
Okay.
And you don't need to watch that 7 minutes of it, but you know, it's these are fun bits, right? Where he's like, look, it's like, if you look closer, look, it's Scuttlebug Bandy or whatever. I don't. It's just this is. It's such deep like YouTube bullshit. I don't even know how to explain any of this anymore. You know.
I have a very low threshold for YouTube bullshit. So.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. You know, I guess we should wrap this up. I'm glad that we've covered. We gotta let you choose one next, okay? Because we did Rogue One because Florian wanted to do Rogue One, and now I've subjected you to Bandy's Universe. So. Well,
I feel like I picked what was the stripper movie?
Oh, Showgirls, yeah.
Showgirls. I feel like I kind of like was the spearhead.
That's true, yeah.
Doing that one.
That wasn't torturous,
if you want me
though,
to
the way this
something,
is.
I'll definitely.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was a decent movie.
That's like a good movie that I enjoyed watching. You know, that's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and especially if you don't know who Scott the Woz is, this is like, there's like, what, like, why are you watching Nathaniel Bandy's Universe? You know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I bring a certain I have no clue what the fuck I'm watching, so I can be the most most subjective about it.
That's very funny in its own way. Yeah, I just wish Florian was here with us, but he tapped out on Bandy's Universe. Which is,
he watched the first couple minutes and he was like, "I'm not gonna do this," and I certainly can't blame him. But I was like, it gets better as it goes. So.
Yeah, I wish you watched the whole thing just because it would be funny if you watched it all. I guess.
I honestly don't know what Florian would make of this kind of YouTuber content. The stuff he tends to go for is the react stuff and somebody getting very mad about things. And this is kind of a spiritual opposite. This is about
this is
effusively praising or celebrating the stuff that you care about.
Yeah,
rather than tearing it down.
I guess we know what he thinks because he clicked off. So,
he decided not to. Yeah.
But it would have been fun if he watched through the whole thing with us.
Yeah.
I feel like Florian is not I don't think he knows. He's never played a Mario or Zelda game really. I think he's played Mario games, but
I really doubt it.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about it. He did Mario Odyssey, and I think he played that because he has a Switch and he has that one game.
Did he play some of it or all of it?
I think he played through to the end. Yeah,
did he like it?
When you fight Bowser at the end, he liked it. Yeah.
So
it was really good.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But he's not a big Nintendo guy who's played all of them for 20 years or whatever. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Do you think Nintendo has super appeal to somebody who does not have an essential nostalgia for it?
I don't know. I think you do kind of have to get into it as
Florian. And I'm not calling Florian an old man, but if you're mid-30s and you don't really have that nostalgia for it, would it I think they're just good games. So
they are. I think
at least from that point of view, it would be easy to.
It would be hard to convince a 30-year-old man to play Mario, but a lot of people got into Zelda through Breath of the Wild because that's a little more. It's a little the tone of it is a little more it's more serious and it's got a different kind of style to it. It's not outwardly oh, this is a game for children and babies. So yeah. And I think you can still play a Mario game when you're 30 and enjoy it, but it would be harder to convince someone to do so, I think, generally.
Right.
And I don't know if they then get it oh, well, I got to go back and play fucking Paper Mario Thousand Year Door now, now that I'm into it. I don't know if you can get people to do that from that age,
Yeah, it's interesting, because at this point I kind of just play the things that have always appealed to me. I'm not really a gamer necessarily. I just kind of go for the things I know I'm going to like to play for the most part. And
all right.
Yeah, I feel like I've really gotten out of playing video games as I've started working more. So
then you lose a lot of time to do that because they're long.
Because games are very time consuming in a way that movies and TV are less time consuming. Overall.
I would say
I would play a Dark Souls or something, and I would spend a lot of time trying to beat it and get into it. And now at this point, I'm just I would play Elden Ring, but I don't have the tons of time to really get good at it. So.
Yeah, and that's fair. Yeah. I guess if I were to recommend you one game, I would say Zelda Majora's Mask. I guess because it is I think it does. I don't really care for Ocarina of Time's story or its characters or anything, and Majora's Mask though is it's all about these characters, and because it runs on the 3-day cycle that you reset and stuff, you sort of.
The 3-day cycle is something that's always scared me away from it just because
it's really manageable. I think as long as you reset the cycle before you do a dungeon or whatever, you're basically set. I think
okay,
or before you go to a new area, because before you get into the dungeon you've got to do a whole thing to get into the dungeon, but once you do that, then the dungeon's open and you can just go into it on the next cycle or whatever. You don't have to there's barely any times you're in a huge super time crunch. There's 1 or 2 side quests where it's oh, if you miss this 5 in-game minute window, then you're kind of screwed, but those are all optional. But the main appeal of it to me is that you have all these characters and they're all really interesting, and you get to see their whole cycle and where they go, which is all fun.
I think I can get it for free because I have a family plan on
for
Nintendo Online.
Switch
is that
Online?
Free?
It is on there, yeah.
Okay.
All
right,
well,
I'll start playing them.
if you got a family plan for, do you have the expansion pass for Switch Online? Because that's
I think so, but I'm not super sure.
Okay, if you can play like N64 games, then you do, yeah. So
I think I can. So
okay, then yeah, it's on there. I mean, there's I would say it's. The thing about Majora's Mask is like you play an N64 game now, it's kind of jank and weird to some degree.
Yeah. Okay.
And the controller is different. Like it's got 6 main buttons because there's like up, down, left, right buttons as well as the D-pad and stuff, plus A and B. So that's kind of weird to like map onto modern controllers. I guess I would recommend setting up like the PC port or whatever on PC that people have made, but like that's all complicated and annoying to do, so it would be, it's a lot easier to just boot up a Switch and play the game where it's all on there. So, and Zelda's going to be mapped better than most things. Just don't play the 3DS version because they fucked it up. So
oh really? Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I did get Ocarina of Time for the 3DS, but
yeah, the Ocarina of Time one's pretty much perfect on there. They just fucked up Majora's Mask, so yeah, which is no good at all. But yeah, that's should that be it for our Bandy's universe?
I think that'll be it. We maybe if I play Majora's Mask and finish it, we may be able to talk about that.
That'd be great. I'd love to do that episode, yeah, because it'd be neat to hear from someone who's like playing that for the first time in like the modern day or something. So
yeah, and I've played a bunch of other Zelda games.
Okay.
So I have some experience with the series.
Yeah, that'd be good then. That'd be a great episode, I think, yeah. And I want to replay it too.
Let you know
now.
if I ever do that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
This made me want to replay it because it's got all the music and stuff, so I'm like, oh, I gotta play it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's been Bandy's Universe. I don't remember a quote to say for the outro, but whatever.
You can talk about how Captain Falcon is.
Oh wait, I got one.
Underappreciated.
What do we do now? Drive away. Goodbye.
That was really a quote.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, everything didn't work. Now we fucking leave. When they're fighting Scott the Woz at the end. I thought that joke made me chuckle, so I wrote it down. But that's the only quote I have written down now. So.
Incredible.
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. I was like, we're really not watching Bandy's Universe for the quotes.
Yeah, no, we're watching this for the visuals more so, I'd say.